Yo, yo, yo. We're back with the Under the Canopy podcast. This is our second episode. I'm here with Ponvi. Ponvi has been my friend for over 4 years. We met freshman year at UCLA. He's a creative in fashion, art. He's an artistic curator. And we came to Kenneth, Hahn, hella beautiful, to talk. And also the purpose of this podcast is I go to beautiful locations with my beautiful friends and we talk and we catch up. So that way in the future, we could conversate and all that. How you been?
I've been great. It's a pleasure seeing you. I'm very happy that you're always ambitious. You're always trying new stuff like this podcast, and can't wait to talk to you.
Type shit. How you been? It's been what, since we moved out August of our old place? How have you been the past 2 months?
I feel like a lot of people I speak to is dealing with post-grad essentialism.
Mm-hmm.
Where with the economy also, you don't know what's going on.
It's
should
crazy,
I
bro.
become a corporate drone? Should I do something creative like you are? Or let's give up.
Yeah, no, it's actually, bro, it's I was talking to my dad, and he was like, back when I first came to America, it was tough because he started out, same with your parents, right? They started out with nothing, absolutely nothing, and they built everything that they had by coming to America. But now, it's as though it's just impossible. You know what I'm saying? Just the prices of everything are so high. It's just, even with a college degree, you're not going to get anywhere. It's there's so many different variables and factors that just hinder you on some shit. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, bruh, if you had a little bit of money, you could buy a store and just do some bullshit. Or you could buy an apartment and do some bullshit. Now it's in LA, San Diego, SF, or all over the country. It's you can't buy shit. It's literally impossible on some shit.
No, I agree. I feel like with that standpoint, the economy just seems very interesting. You don't know if the jobs will be taken by AI overlords. It's a whole conundrum of stuff. So many job listings that just seem not as valuable as it once were. And and even with pay, as a kid growing up, I might sound selfish, but I'm well, 100K is crazy. Yeah. But now being post-grad, I don't think 100K is enough for my living expenses.
You literally can't, bro. Because 100K, you live in California, right? 35% of that is going to go to taxes, minimum, right? So that leaves you with 65K. 65K, paying rent, let's say is 2K a month, right? All your different utilities for the year. So that's 65 minus 25 for rent and all
groceries, going out,
all that. It's at the end of the day, after all your expenses and you enjoy life, with savings, you're left with 10, 15K, 20K if you're lucky, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the boy Kevin, but he makes a lot of money, over 6 figures, and homie is unable to save, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It's crazy. So I came I came to the realization post-grad and the conundrum you're talking about, and I was just this game is all bullshit, you know what I'm saying? And if you play by the rules of the game, you're going to get average results. So that's why I started the podcast. I've started some other things. I'm working on some other stuff. Just because it's almost on what Kanye said, you know what I'm saying? So it's if you do the same shit as everyone else, you're not going to really pop off in any capacity.
No, I agree. I feel also as anxiety to both of us, we both have aging parents.
Yeah,
so
exactly
it's that pressure that's on you. Do I want to live freely and do what I want? Or should I just submit and become a cog in the system where I don't make shit, I barely have enough money saved over, but it's the only thing I can do to provide for my family.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I was just if I get a good paying job, which I'm trying to do, by the way, it's you're not gonna give your parents the life that you want to give them, especially in California. You are not, if you get a good paying job, let's say for sake of argument, 200K. Even with 200K a year, you're not buying your parents a house, you're not buying them the car of their dreams, you're not doing shit. So if you know, even if you get a fantastic, well-paying job, you can't provide your parents or your friends or whoever that lifestyle that you envision for them, then why so adamantly push down that path? And I think the thing is, and me and you are very similar in this, is going into college, and I'm speaking for you, but I could be wrong, is you go into college and you're okay, I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna do some other shit on the side. I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna do this and this. And then you go to a place like UCLA, and everyone is so aimed towards corporatism, and you're fuck, if I don't do that, then I could get behind. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree. I feel like
And it corrupts you.
it is very corroding to like your belief. Like I felt like, oh, I'm gonna do so many creative passions, and then like you get dulled out.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a plethora of things. Like one, everyone around you doing internships, or everyone's around you is
Yeah.
like they see like creative adventures, and like one like inside you live for yourself. Once you die, you should die with no regrets.
Yeah.
But it's hard because like as humans, we have that genetic preset to crave social validation, because that was an evolutionary trait that instilled with us so we can survive as a tribe. But it doesn't matter no more. But yet it's still in us, and I feel like me and you both have tried doing multiple things. Like freshman year, me and him, we like, oh, let's start making shirts.
Yeah.
That's money right there. We
Yeah.
got this machine. We really drove all the way to like down to LA. We got embroidered stuff. We got T-shirts. Boom.
Shout out to Bree, bro.
Yeah.
She drove us all the way there, bro, just for us to buy that, bro. Shout out to her.
She's a sweetheart for that.
Hey, Miss Compton, bro. Miss Compton, bro. She's actually popping off. God bless her.
And I feel like you yourself, like this man right here, like he has like 1,000 ideas a day.
Yeah.
And like it's just like he keeps printing out, but at least he attempts, and that's what's
Yeah.
the value in like in this story is.
Bro, I think it all kind of goes back to the book you recommended. Ponvi recommended me this book, The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. Generally, it changed my perspective on ideas and plans and all that. Because the way he says it is just like, if you have an idea, just water the seed. Like, just see where it goes. And it's all right to quit on an idea or a concept or a project, but just at least give it the water to like just see where it grows. I started this thing this year called Omnia, and in the time it seemed like a fantastic idea, and I still think it has like a lot of validity. But when I kind of explored it more and I pursued it more and I kind of just thought about it and I thought about where it was going and how it would work, I realized this might not be the thing for me to invest my time in right now, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But what's something creative that you've been like pushing your energy out? It doesn't matter how small or big. What's something creatively that's been pushing your boundaries?
I thought we spoke about this. One of my fellow friends to me is like Omar, or as a lot of people know, Mardell.
Mardell. Why one Mardell? Stream it.
UCSD alumni. He's very creative in his artistic endeavors, and I like clothes. As Mood said, like he really respects like my style and stuff, and like in that aspect, we're like, what if we just do a clothing brand?
Yeah.
Not that will make money. We're not gonna become Jeff Bezos, but like, there's so much out there, and there's so many times where I've seen like a brand take off, and maybe
Yeah.
I'm a hater, and I'm like, how did that take off? Maybe it's
Yeah.
marketing. Maybe there's like a demand for that.
Yeah.
And Omar's like, what if me and you make our own designs, our own ideas,
Yeah.
and we make that brand? And
Yeah.
that brand just speaks more to this like, oh, what if like we become capitalists? Like, what if we make that brand designate amount of money to causes that we support? It has real messages. In a sense, it's art that you can wear. And I'm like, I'm still working on the brand. It's gonna come out soon. But a lot about making a brand is just like getting stuff out. It's like taking time to have your exact ideas from your mind
Yes.
materialize.
And it's also, whenever you're starting something, it's very slow.
Yeah.
Well, that's what people don't realize. It's very slow. Like, you have to go and get the name, and then you have to go get the logo,
The website.
and then you have to get the website, and then you have to set up the socials, and then you have to communicate with people in China, and then they have to send to you the samples, and you have to feel the samples. Then you have to get back to them and be like, yo, can you change the sample? And then I was talking to Mardell and like about the belt molds.
Yeah.
It's like they have to change go explain that.
Bro, like, this is like, we have this crazy design of this belt. I don't know, like, I don't want the idea to get stolen, but it's a cool belt idea. It's very intricate, very detailed. We had this designer work on it. It's actually like one of the coolest things I think we came up with.
Yeah.
And then we went out to multiple manufacturers in China. And each manufacturer gave us an estimate. Some tried ripping us off, some were doing cheap quality, and then we got the photos back. And it was completely different from my ideal design. But the thing is, we already paid them to make the molds.
Yeah.
And that only cost us $600. And now we either have to pick a new manufacturer and we can risk the molds getting fucked up again, or we
Yeah.
try again. And that's just like, okay, we already spent $2K on this brand endeavor, and we haven't even launched anything from our line.
Yeah.
And like, it just shows like, once you're really passionate about something, you gotta be able to front up the money and the time, and just don't get discouraged. Like,
Yeah.
keep going, and like, you can look back on it one day, and it might be successful, it might not, but at least you've done something.
At least you've done something 100%. 100%. And going back, because like, I've been working on this thing the past like month and a half, 2 months. It's called Collective Conscious. I was telling Mardell a little bit about it.
Oh wow.
Called Collective Conscious. Here's a sticker of it. But the concept of it was, I graduated college. I was looking at the life around us, and specifically sparked by the Palestine protests, where people were they're stopping to spend money at Starbucks or McDonald's or like whatever the fuck, right? And I realized like for the first time, and I think the 21st century, the consumer was waking up and being like, I don't have to support shit that doesn't support me or doesn't support my ideals. So I thought of the idea of called collective conscious, and what it is every so often, every couple months, every month, we launch a campaign. And the campaign will be something around wildfires or ocean pollution or single-use plastics or mental health or whatever the fuck, and we launch a product alongside of it. For example, like the first product I'm gonna launch is an ashtray,
Oh,
right?
wow.
And it's gonna support wildfires, and 75% of the money goes towards fighting wildfires. The other 25% goes towards just the company to help it like sustain itself. You know what I'm saying? And I've been working on it. It's something that's been really fun for me to like work on. But like going back to what you're saying about these Chinese like Alibaba, AliExpress motherfuckers, bro, it's like it's so hard to communicate with them, bro. Cause like you can go and look and it'll be like, oh, a sample is $20 for like a sample, and then they're like, oh, actually, if you're doing this type of thing with this type of embroidery or whatever, it's actually a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then like they say some shit in the description like, oh, this blank will cost you $2 to $3 or whatever the fuck. You talk to them, and then they're actually like, oh, that's like something else. And like to anyone there trying to like start a business, generally the easiest way is you have to kind of get it from China.
Yeah.
Just because it's so much cheaper. But like you're gonna have to go through like talking to dozens of people, and it's a very like long process, and which I didn't realize. You know what I'm saying? So even if like, for example, you and Mardell or me, we want to launch something in January, motherfucker, you gotta start thinking about that like 4 months in advance. 1 month just to find the person, 2 months for the shit to like come out, and then the shipping. You know what I'm saying? It's a crazy process.
Well, so the Palestine protest is more so like, is it the empathy of this people becoming more aware of their conscious purchases? Like, what made you do this?
So it was just like, I kind of realized that like all of these companies have so much fucking money and they can do so much good. Like genuinely so much good, basically. You're like, nah, I don't want to. And I wanted to give a way for people to buy hype products that are like beautiful and they're hype and they're luxury, but also supporting causes that they believe in. And being like, yo, why the fuck would I buy a hydro flask when I could buy something, a water bottle from Collective Conscious that supports ocean pollution? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because the consumer is like, would obviously rather go with that. Like, fuck hydro flask. Fuck, for example, if I'm gonna buy a notebook, why buy the notebook from Target when you could buy it from Collective Conscious? It might be a little bit more, but you know that 75% of your money is going towards a good cause. And it was really just about changing the way consumers look at products and companies, and it was also about changing the culture. Like being like, your money can have so much different effect, why just send it for like greedy use, for shareholders just to increase their valuation, you know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you. It
Yeah.
reminds me of like, I don't know if you've seen about dirty socks that are for endangered animals.
Yeah,
And, like,
yeah, it was almost like that. I've seen those before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got these panda socks that support panda sanctuaries around like the globe. And I'm like, it's like, I like the idea because like, one thing that's interesting about the human psychology, we don't comprehend like people dying.
Yeah.
But when there's a cat or an animal, we're more
Yeah.
likely to give a fuck.
Yeah,
And like,
100%.
I don't know. I'm trying to understand why.
I think it could be because from human being to human being is like, you understand their struggle and you're like, okay, like a lot of humans go through that, right? But because it's an animal and because it does like something a bit, like it's a different species, you're like, it's harder for you to understand their struggles. It's like, okay, like for example, all humans suffer, all humans, like a majority get poor, shit like that. For like pandas or whatever the fuck the animal is, it's like, because their suffering is beyond our realm of consciousness and our realm of understanding, it's hard for us to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get what I'm trying to say? Like, really, like, get it. I don't know if I'm not wording it the
I
best,
don't know.
but
Like, I'm trying to comprehend, but I'm like,
it's like, okay, let me think about it like this. For example, like, if people in the US suffer from starvation, right? when you think about it, you're less likely to like be like, oh my god, we gotta do something about it. But like if someone in a third world country is starving, you're more empathetic to it. You know what I'm saying? You're more like, fuck, we really gotta do that.
Do you think so?
I think so because
I feel
it's
I disagree. I feel like we're like I said, like I hate
like
that
tribalism in a sense.
I don't know if it's tribalism, but like really like there's war crimes happening all the time.
Yeah.
There's people in like Congo, Sudan, you know, and and like there's people getting massacred, and we're like, oh no, like some people care. I know me and you care, but I'm just saying like we see like a dog getting beat. I'm just saying like I'm not saying like oh wow like we shouldn't care about dogs getting beat or cats getting slaughtered. I don't know if we saw that one thing in China where they were hunting cats and bringing them alive.
I didn't see that. No.
Yeah,
Crazy.
there was like this cat. His name was Mr. Fresh.
Oh man, have you seen Maxwell the cat?
I have.
That motherfucker is like King Von, bro. That motherfucker is crazy, bro.
He's a crazy motherfucker. But this cat got famous in China. It was a stray cat. And he was named Mr. Fresh. And people had animosity towards the cat. So they actively went and started hunting this cat that got caught. I don't know if people are just like are less jealous that like this cat got attention.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but people had outrage over that. More outrage than like a human dying from a war crime. And I was like, why not even certain occasions, all occasions, first world countries are more empathetic to animals getting fucked up versus third world countries. I really think this is an issue we have. I don't know why we're so like desensitized to like this stuff.
I think maybe it could have to do with something about the innocence of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah?
Like it's like the same reason why we care so much when a child gets harmed. Because like it's like a certain amount of innocence and purity involved with like the animal or the child or whatever the fuck it is. Maybe that could be a reason why.
But so many people are innocent in like in these countries where so much crimes are happening. That's what I'm like is the media and propaganda that much that it corrodes our basic empathy for our fellow human beings, but our empathy for cats since they're not able to politicalize it?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think it's just like I think what it is as human beings, we look at animals and we're like, okay, they're below us. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like obviously below us on some sense. So when something is below you, I think you're more likely to like almost like it's out of your specific realm. You know what I'm saying? It's like a different realm entirely. So when you're like talking about it or like looking at it, it's like, oh, this is another species that's getting harmed, that's outside my like realm of like consciousness or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? But I think when it's a human on human like occurrence, it's just like oh, we're humans, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you buy into it, you know what I'm saying? I think you're completely right with like the media and their betrayal of it all. It's like we're expected to go to war with each other. We're expected for fuck shit to happen. We're expected that countries fuck over other countries. But when it's an animal, it's just like, oh, that's not expected. I think we've been conditioned by media and pop culture that like war is just the way. It just has to be. There has to be war. There has to be rich countries. There has to be poor countries. There has to be suffering. There has to be like privilege. And I think we've just been so conditioned to this idea that not everyone can be on the same footing.
You think it's also egotism? Like we're like me and you, like we know that like the U.S. how it is not because it's a fair game. But like a lot of people think, oh, you're human. Like you know, let's work harder, do better. Like the classic conservative argument that's out there.
Yeah.
And like we're just thinking, if we can do it ourselves, these countries with less resources, less structure, should be able to rise above the conditions. I think it's also partially that.
That's a huge aspect of it, bro. Like I think people are so ignorant to the history of it all. Like to just the realization. I think especially in like the Western world, we have this mentality that, oh, since we're doing fine, everyone else in the world should do fine. And like, no, like America and Western Europe, we're so fucking privileged, bro. Like the fact that like people aren't fucking getting bombed by another like country, people aren't getting slaughtered. Like the worst thing that happens in the U.S., and I'm not trying to diminish it, is like police brutality or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Or like the occasional school shooting, which is caused by, you know, our own system.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, but in other countries, whether it's like Palestine or Punjab or whatever fuck, there's like real genocides, real slaughters, real wars going on. And I just think we're so like, the Americans are just so like, they're so cushioned and desensitized to all that because they don't experience that. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to empathize with something you've never experienced. And I think that's like why when you talk to like someone who's born rich and you talk to them about these like struggles and the stress of wanting to provide for your siblings and your parents, they don't understand.
Yeah.
They really just don't understand because it's beyond their scope of comprehension. It's like we've both known really rich people, and it's kind of like they live life with this like laissez-faire, everything's going to be okay mentality, which I think as a human is the right mentality to have. You need to have an optimistic perspective, but it's like they live in almost this reality that we don't experience.
I agree, because also like, I know me and you don't blame them, but
Yeah,
also
yeah.
because like, when you have a blanket on you, it's like Buddha. Like you're in this palace, you're very
Yeah.
happy, but once you leave the palace and once you get live all your material wealth, you see
realize it,
suffering.
yeah.
And not a lot of people are willing to do that or are given the opportunity to do that. They just continue the system and they continue the cycle, which I think, I don't know what we have to do. I don't know, like we gotta do some like educational courses and like schooling,
Yeah.
but there has to be like an empathy course. And I don't know if
has
they'll
to
ever
be, yeah.
pass. Cause like Republicans, even Democrats, I think both parties are corrupt. Like look at us, like the current candidates running, I don't support either. I don't know about you, but like,
It's crazy. I don't support either. And you know what I think is so funny, bro? Right now, they just put an Israel arms embargo, like for the next 30 days. It's like, oh, if Israel, you don't stop doing what you're doing in Gaza in the next 30 days, we're gonna stop giving you weapons. Complete bullshit.
Yeah.
Complete bullshit. Literally, it's just for the election. Just because Kamala Harris is losing so many fucking voters.
you saw they brought Obama?
Yeah,
They brought the big guns
They
for
brought out
her.
fucking Eminem, bro.
Yeah.
They brought out fucking Slim Shady to try to do some bullshit, bro.
Yeah.
Because I was reading some shit. It's like 65% of American Muslims, they voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. You know
Oh
what I'm
wow, I
saying?
did not know. That's a crazy
in
percentage.
2020. Now it's like 11% or 10%. So you just lost 50% of like Muslim Americans. And there's not that many Muslims in the US, but just think about all the other groups. You know what I'm saying? Like these liberal ass other motherfuckers, like they're seeing this shit and being like, fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
African Americans are seeing this shit and being like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if everyone knows a situation is fucked and it's not causing them to vote, like you're losing out on so many millions of voters. And that's the literally the Israeli Gaza fiasco is what caused Kamala Harris the election. 100%.
Damn.
100%, bro.
I'm just so like, I guess I know the answer, but I'm also, it still fucks with me. Like,
Yeah.
why is third party never an option? You know, why is Jill Stein never an option? I'm so
Yeah.
confused. Like, we always have these candidates. Like, is it a money issue? It's because like the media is so
Yeah.
like propagandized that like people are not aware. Because some people don't know who Jill Stein is.
No one
And
knows.
That's
Robert Kennedy, bro.
Yeah.
Like, bro, this motherfucker Robert Kennedy, and I don't support him on all of his issues, but motherfucker was talking about how the food we eat is trash. Our pharmaceutical system is terrible and it's against the American people.
The FDA was shit.
And like, no one's talking about it. No one's being like, oh, this dude is fucking spinning. He's talking about real systemic issues. When I'm listening to Kamala, when I'm listening to Trump, it's just like this bullshit that doesn't matter, bro. But like, the food we eat, the food we consume is literally poisoning us.
Yeah.
Die 40s, all of this bullshit is affecting the way we live. Our tap water is not as clean as everyone thinks it's clean. Everything about our system, the way that if people go to the hospital, they're scared of getting bankrupt. The number one cause of bankruptcy in America is medical bills.
Oh shit.
People don't like talk about that shit. And those are real systemic issues that are affecting people. But it's always like, oh, immigrants or wars or Russia and Ukraine.
Or taxes that they
Yeah.
never, no side actually lowers taxes. It's always a tax cut for rich. While you're blue or you're red, they say they're gonna do something for us, the small people, but in reality, it's always the people at the top who are already rich
Yes.
getting these cuts.
It's just like when Trump was president, the number one tax rates he helped and improved was like these corporate taxes. That's what he really like did. And I guess you could have the argument like, oh, if you lower corporate taxes, then they're gonna hire more people because they have more
But
money.
they don't, they buy more stock. It's Reaganomics.
They just spend more money on investment and outsourcing and all that. It doesn't necessarily have I think it has a relationship, but it's not one-to-one like everyone claims.
Yeah.
And I think especially now, especially with these tech companies, like tech, once you have the product, you kind of don't really need that many people. We saw it in the past couple of years. All of these big tech companies, they decreased their amount of employees dramatically. Because if you have a Facebook, if you have an Instagram, if you have a Depop, you already made it. You already have it. You don't need that many people to like keep it running and all that. You've figured it out. And I think corporations, they realize that they can just outsource more of the work to like third world countries like India. They charge a fraction of the price. Everything works out.
I think a biggest fear that we spoke about is AI.
Yeah,
like
it's freaky. It's actually so freaky, bro.
So much stuff getting automated. Like
Yeah.
now, like, cause like I was talking to one of my pre-law friends. He goes to USC Law. His name's Ayus, and like he was telling me, oh, like I have to like read all these cases and stuff. But there's new. Have you seen Suits?
Yeah.
They made an AI called Harvey. Well, you can give him your cases, and it can read you all the information you need. It can give you guidance on how you want to pursue, how you want to alter your lawsuit. And like,
it's
holy
crazy.
shit,
It's crazy, bro.
Paralegals, that job right there is what a paralegal does.
Yeah.
And in a sense, if I'm a law firm and I want to save money, and I can just like get rid of paralegals, and I can have the AI do it for me. And that's only one
insane.
aspect. And who knows? Who knew that lawyers and that whole firm itself can? In my mind, that was like the least amount of thing to get automated.
Yeah.
And like in these tech companies, so many jobs each day are getting smaller and smaller. Because investors want to make more money. Because we're in this system where we need to keep going up, but that's not feasible. That's not logical. But it's gonna happen. It's being hurtful.
I think the biggest lie that has been spewed in Western culture is that economic GDP is the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter for shit. I think there's so many other, like, what's the health of your like citizens? Are they happy? Are they thriving?
Mortality rate.
Infant mortality rate. It's like all of these real statistics that matter way more than GDP. And I guess you could say like, oh, but when GDP rises, all these other metrics rise as well. And I guess you can make that argument, but it's not like, there's so many better indications, you know what I'm saying? Like people in the US are starting to like struggle.
Yeah.
Like we are UCLA graduates, we can't find a job to save our fucking lives, bro. I know a dude, he graduated a year and a half ago from UCLA, has been looking consistently, applying to 10 jobs a day, hasn't gotten shit.
Shit, man.
And it's crazy. And that's what kind of inspired me to do this, to work on Collective Conscious, to do some other small things, because it's kind of, it's that quote that Albert Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And on top of it, and something that I kind of want to segue into a little bit, is that I think something that's really cool that's happening in the rest of the world, let me reframe that. I think something cool that I've noticed in the rest of the world, and like you probably can agree because you've been to New York, you went to Europe recently, is just the way that they live in terms of public transportation and work-life balance outside of the US.
Socialized healthcare.
Socialized healthcare is so beautiful. Like for example, when I went to Europe for 2 weeks, like a month ago, and I just came back from Europe again, and I've explored like a decent chunk of it, and it's so beautiful that after work, they go to the pub, or they go to a coffee shop, or they go and they smoke hookah with their friends. You know what I'm saying? They have like a third place. They have an identity. They don't have to spend an hour in traffic going to work and from work and all that. They have something to their lives. You know what I'm saying? And just from your travels, from your experiences, what's something that you believe the US society is like missing out on?
I think we're missing out on, and you already hit the nail on the spot, transportation.
Yeah.
Like, especially in the US, we invest too much in wars, and those investments are not coming back for like the general public. So other countries are making better infrastructure, and infrastructure is very crucial to commerce, for money to circulate in the economy. And without a good economy, shit struggles.
Yeah.
We're not having a good nightlife here. We're not having people buy goods, because like we spoke about this. We can make 100K a year in Cali, and we're not gonna have enough money to reinvest in the economy, because you want to save that, and you don't save that, you're gonna be in a cycle working until you're old, and the social security fund's like drying up.
Yeah.
We need transportation.
Yeah, I completely agree.
We need a high rail, high bullet.
Yeah,
What's it called?
a bullet train, high speed
Yeah,
transportation
yeah.
system or something of the sort. I think also like you were just in New York, bruh, and that subway system, it's dirty, it's outdated, whatever the fuck, but it gets you from place to place. It's effective. Poor people use it, elite use it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We need something like that, especially in LA, bro. LA, you can talk about it because you lived here your entire life, but it's gone to the point where I live in Santa Monica, and if I want to drive to the beach, which is 3 minutes away from me, 25-minute drive. I came to come link here at Kenneth Hahn. In the morning, it said 25 minutes. Coming here was 50 minutes. And it's 3 p.m. on a Thursday, bruh. Like, there shouldn't be traffic, bruh. And there's just so much is. And I want to, like,
But you read a book on this. We spoke.
Yeah.
He was in like a reading phase. Bro was like all into like different genres. Bro read like AI superpowers. Bro read like Rick Rubin's book. So you explain like what you think a feasible solution is, if you can think of one.
About transportation? Or just like the cities?
In LA itself, because you said it.
I think LA has a lot of problems. I think if I was Mayor Karen Bass of LA, I'll change a few things. I think first you got to make the transportation better. You need to invest hundreds of billions of dollars into fixing this transportation. I think LA can be one of the greatest cities in the world, but right now it's diminishing. It's diminishing fast because of the transportation. I think invest in metros and buses, and I think you should make buses free or like super low cost so that people like have an incentive to use it. I think also having more like robo taxis or Waymos or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying?
So?
Yeah, 100%. Because if you have more of these robotic cars, you have less cars in general. You know what I'm saying? I think an ideal society, and LA is one that can really like monopolize off this because LA is really spread out. This wouldn't work in a city like New York or London or Paris because they have a metro system. But in LA, I think LA should talk to these big companies, Waymo, Google, Tesla, whatever else, and be like, hey, we'll give you guys subsidies, we'll help you guys out and no matter the cost, but I want these big companies, these big tech companies to offer robo-taxis that are super cheap for our customers. That way, we can go, and instead of people owning cars, you know what I'm saying? They just go on their phone, they call a Waymo, whatever the fuck, and it gets you from point A to B. And what that does is it takes up so much space in LA. So much space in LA is dedicated to parking and having parking on the side of the roads. And like all of those places, Elon Musk touched on this, but it can be transferred into parks and recreation areas. And you can turn it into places where you can house the homeless, for example, or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? I think you can do that. I think LA also just needs to tackle homelessness and figure out a proper solution. But the problem is with homelessness is like, no matter what kind of bandage you try to put on, each year more people are getting homeless and homeless.
But is it a mental issue? I thought it was like when Reagan shut down the psychiatric hospitals, and then that's why there's no people who to care, and like when like no one's taking care of you and you're suffering from like such issues as mental health, you're left on the street.
I think specifically in LA and SF, it's more of an issue about this place is getting so unaffordable to live. People can't afford it, so then they cancel their leases and they start to live in their cars. And after a while of living in your car or wherever the fuck, you start to like mentally just go off the deep end. I think that's what happens, bro. If you are living on the streets, it's like you are living in survival mode, like pure survival mode. You don't have a place, a comfy bed to go sleep in at night. You don't have the luxury to like think and calm yourself. People look at you in a different light. And I think the mass amount of homelessness that are entering society, they're being plagued with mental issues. You know what I'm saying? And I think when you're having these mental issues, you look for a remedy, you look for some type of solution, and then you have motherfuckers on the corner selling dope. You know what I'm saying? And then they get hooked to drugs, and it makes sense. I think it goes in the cycle. People can't afford to live. They get pushed to the streets. Because of the streets, they go and they have mental health issues, and then after that, they turn to like some type of thing. And it's usually drugs. So
do you think like we should have price control? Do you think we should have UBI? Like what's like cause I agree with you. I don't disagree, but what is the solution to this?
I think it's a complex issue, but I think the government has to make their cost and their money hyper efficient. I think that's what the U.S. needs to do right now.
But I feel it's hard. I feel like there's a lot of investment, there's a lot of corruption.
Yeah, there is a lot of corruption, 100%. But I think the U.S. government, or like on the state level or the city level, needs to look at all the money that's coming in, because it's billions and billions of dollars, and they need to be like, okay, do we really need money going to this? Or do we really need money going to that? And it takes a transformative politician, like a real politician, not like this like draconian fucking puppet masters or whatever, like a real politician be like, yo, why are we spending this much on these subsidies that are going to these pharmaceutical companies? Why are we spending so much on this? Why are we spending so much money on that? And then just get hyper efficient. Kind of similar to what these tech companies are doing. What do you need in society and what don't you need? And then from there, you are able to save billions and billions of dollars. And those billions can be transferred to the most pressing issues. Maybe transportation, homelessness, the fent epidemic. The fent epidemic is crazy.
I agree.
Epidemic is crazy,
they're putting
bro.
fent in weed nowadays.
They're putting fent in weed,
Wait,
bro.
I have a conspiracy about that. 'Cause it doesn't make sense from a profit incentive to lace weed.
Nah, bro,
But weed's very cheap to grow. A lot of people have it. There's a lot of dispensaries out here. Why do you think that like we have so much fent in our drugs?
I think
there was an issue in the past.
I think it's like China or some other like.
What?
I think it's like China or Russia or someone is being like, yo, if we want to destroy America, we can't do it on like a head-to-head war.
Yeah.
We need to destroy America from the inside. And I think that's what they're doing. They're bringing these drugs in from Mexico, from Southern America. These drugs are laced. And I think the intention of it is we need to destroy American society. Like, I think, I don't want to be quoted on this, but there was something about how China has set up drug processing and medical processing for drugs in Southern America. And that's where a large amount of these drugs are coming from.
Oh, wow.
I think that's what's happening, but it's fucking scary, bro. Our sophomore year at UCLA, someone died from smoking weed.
Damn.
Someone died from smoking weed. You know how crazy that is? You go, you light up a joint, you're just trying to chill with your friends, and you just die. It's insane. It's literally insane, bro.
I think the issue is like counterfeit drugs themselves. Like we have a friend that passed from that.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate. I'm like,
it's crazy.
I never thought, I grew up in like a middle class area. I think it was like middle class, right? Like,
Yeah.
And like, I always saw it on media. I see news report, but you never expect your college, elite institution, to have people suffer from that issue.
Yeah, it's insane, bro. Like motherfuckers are literally just trying to get high and enjoy their time with their friends. You're just trying to light up some ganja, bro.
Yeah.
And you're dying.
It's crazy that on our campus there was like a Narcan like distribution center, and I appreciate don't get rid of drug stigma. I appreciate Narcan, but it's crazy we're coming to these lengths where we're literally passing out OD drug remedies.
Yeah.
Because like that's how big of the issue is.
Bro, it's crazy that we walk through our campus and students have set up clubs and an organization to give Narcan to other students. That's crazy. Like society isn't coming to help us. Politicians aren't coming to help us. It's literally students that are like, okay, this is becoming a problem. Let's do something about it. Yeah. It's insane. It's so fucking scary,
but
bro.
I think society, I think it goes back to collective conscience in a sense. Like once we begin to wake up, we realize politicians don't protect us. The police definitely don't protect us.
Yeah,
we protect each other.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
100%. That's like something that they were saying during the Palestine protests at UCLA. It's like we protect us, and like that's so real.
Yeah,
so real, bro. Like UCLA students got brutalized, attacked at UCLA. Next day, police is like, you know what? We just gotta like fuck over these students. You know what I'm saying? Shooting rubber bullets. You see police officers smiling as they're shooting rubber bullets at students. Insane, bro. Arresting people. For what? And I think the craziest example was at not even UCLA, where there was an encampment, was UCSD. They were doing nothing at UCSD. Like the amount of space that they were taking at UCSD was literally like a corner of some random fucking place.
Probably like half this lake even.
Half this fucking lake. Like, okay, if you want to make some hypothetical argument up, you're like, okay, the UCLA protesters took like a significant part of campus. Yeah. Sure, you can make that argument up if you want to be like draconian.
And kids were still allowed to go to classes. Because there was lies saying kids were not allowed to. But
everyone was allowed to. And people were saying like, oh, these protesters are just not allowing Jewish students to go to class. Motherfucker, everyone was getting blocked off.
1/3 of the protesters were Jews themselves.
Yes, bro. And it's insane. It's like they come up with these narratives from somewhere so far away. And it's like, oh, these protesters are against Jewish students and they don't want Jewish students going to class. First of all, they were blocking everyone off. People were still able to go to class, and a significant amount of people and professors that were at the protest were Jewish. And they try to frame it like a race relationship. Nah, bro. Like when motherfuckers were attacking people, the people who were on the front line were Jewish. Some of our friends that were Jewish, they were out there like fucking serving.
They were getting hurt. They were being called anti-Semitic despite being like Semites themselves.
Yeah, bro. And it was crazy because like there was people at UCLA. They're like, oh, if you're Jewish and you're at the encampment, you're a self-hating Jew. Make that make sense, bro.
I feel like the lack of empathy that every life is valuable is a very crucial issue. And it goes back to collective consciousness, as I'm happy that like, but it's not good that the crimes are happening in Gaza, right? People are dying. It's very unfair. But I'm happy that as humans, we're waking up from the media, we're becoming more self-informed, and we're coming to a system where the politicians don't help us, but we help each other. And this is what we need more of.
And I feel so bad for my Jewish brothers and sisters who are good people, and they're being weaponized by a state that's like, oh, we're for Jewish people. But the same state that's like, oh, we're for Jewish people are attacking their own religious members. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's so sad that if you're Jewish and you don't support the state of Israel, you're automatically claimed like, oh, you're not one of us.
Yeah.
We don't fuck with you. And it's just like, it's crazy that you cannot criticize a country or a state without being reprimanded in some sense.
Wow.
Insane.
I don't know. I feel like hopefully soon there will be a referendum and like,
Yeah.
I don't know if peace will be achieved, but at least equality be achieved in the Middle East.
100%. 100%.
Cause what do you, I don't know if you pay attention, cause I feel like every day it's like a new headline, it's a new crime, it's like.
And it's gone to the point where it's just like, it's becoming so much, you don't really know how to differentiate it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, Israel has been bombing civilian houses in Lebanon. And no one's talking about it.
Yeah.
And it's like...
They have no business in Lebanon, which is crazy. They just want more land.
They just want more land, bro.
Like, more resources, more power, more control, which is something that should not be promised to them because that's not their land.
Insane. I wanted to talk about something because you're really into fashion and the fashion culture. Where do you see fashion going? Okay, this is the question.
Yeah.
What do you think fashion looks like right now? Where do you see it going? And who are the main people or organizations leading that fashion to the next step?
I feel like right now we can all see is that Y2K, is that dark grunge vamp look. You know, Rick Owens. We got the Margiela on.
Yeah.
It's just very like, even right now, like today I wanted to like, I didn't want to like dress the craziest, but I just wanted a very simple fit. You know, I put on some black pants, some Air Forces, and a black shirt.
Yeah.
But I think what's gonna happen is a resurgence of like vibrant colors. It's gonna be white colors, more like, you know, ethereal. Something like the internet and human society are one-to-one right now.
Yeah.
And the internet influence basically mimics our real life behaviors.
Yeah.
And as much as people like to say politics are not related to consumerism, it is. And it's a form of expression.
Yeah.
So I think what's happening is people are becoming more aware that like fast fashion itself, like, you know, Shein or Boohoo Man, or like, let's say even like Urban Outfitters, we've both been victims of like buying a lot from there.
Yeah.
People are becoming more conscious themselves and buying independent fashion brands on Instagram that have messages, that have creativity. So I feel like what's gonna happen is a variety of stuff. Cause like as humans grow, there's such different subsets.
Yeah.
And what I see is becoming more and more popular is it's like more exaggerated proportions, asymmetrical looks.
Yeah.
Fashion itself is very creative. And I feel like what we can see is what's around us. And like, as you go to parties and like concerts, you can see the young generation embodying the do not care.
Exactly.
I remember like back in middle school, back in high school, it was like the swag phase, you know? It was the swag and the glasses and shit.
Yeah, it was like that whole like clout chasing rice gum. I think you're so right that it starts on the internet.
Yeah.
I think rice gum really popularized a sense of fashion. Like he was one of the main proponents. He didn't create it or he wasn't the front runner, but like when rice gum was popping off, you looked at him in his LV Supreme hoodie and you're like, damn. His Bape hoodies, you're like, damn.
Yeah, I agree.
So that new vibrant era of clothes being colorful and more white and more ethereal.
More exaggerated in their senses.
So I know you mentioned like Instagram and like it happens online.
Yeah.
But do you see any brands or people, organizations specifically that are like, have that type of style that you think are going to pop off? Or do you think like brands are just going to start to adopt it once it like changes?
I feel bad because like, you know, I suck at pronouncing stuff.
Yeah.
But there was like this one brand made by a Vietnamese guy. His name Vajna Vu. I don't know, maybe you can edit something in it, but like he's like Kendrick Lamar wears this stuff, and like what he does is like he takes like basic essentials like jeans, right? And he makes them very baggy, or he makes the jeans upside down, so it looks like you're wearing them upside down and stuff. And like I feel like this like stuff that is like off the wall, like very against social norms, is what's like famous. Cause like what used to be eye catching was logomania, boom, boom. But what's eye-catching now is like anti-socialism, where like
Yeah.
you do stuff that's not accepted in society, so it's anti-social. So that's like I make a dress shirt, but the dress shirts are pants, and they
Yeah.
do it in a way where like it looks nice and it's a nice silhouette.
You see what Cardi did by wearing the jersey
That's like-
backwards?
yeah,
I really like that. I
That's-
really fucked with that, bro.
that's what I'm saying. Like it's more about how do I make a statement, but I don't want to do it in a regular sense. We do it in the way that we wear stuff.
Yeah.
And that can be back, that can relate to when sagging was a statement.
Yeah.
People used to sag a lot. And like, I don't know what the next sagging is, but this can be like that's a little glimpse into the future.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a really good point. I think with that being said, is that what you and Mardell are trying to emulate?
I feel like what we're trying to emulate is basically subcultures.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like oftentimes, like, you've seen how I dress, right?
Yeah.
And like, it's androgynous. It's not like, you
Yeah.
know, like male or female.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to make a political statement in a sense, or like not a social commentary.
Yeah.
Where like, you know, queerbait. Like, oh, why is this guy Ponvi queerbaiting?
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, like, is he queerbaiting? No, it's like obviously my sexual preference, my gender, that's my own like personal
Yeah.
thing. But you know, I'm a heterosexual male. But I don't mind being perceived as anything else. Because at the end of the story, we should do what makes us happy, and we shouldn't be so forced by society to be put in a box.
I think that's beautiful. I 100% agree with you. 100%.
Because once we're put in a box, that's where people can like control you and force you to do stuff. And that's why society right now is in ruins, because we're too numbed out and
Yeah.
forced to do stuff we don't want to do.
100%, bro. And that's like something I've this year have been really trying to do, is kind of psychoanalyze my life and see what's working and see what's not necessarily working, where I want to go. And that's why I started all the things I'm trying to do, the podcast, the company, whatever else. And I think it's so, ironically enough, I learned this from Kanye. It's so easy to like slip into a box. It's so easy and fast to slip into a box. It's insane, bro. Like, for example, it's like when I was thinking about like this podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you afterwards, but I started like clipping it and using like AI clippers that do subtitles and all that, and I started looking at it, it looks like really good.
Yeah.
And then like for a split second, I was just like, fuck, but people I know are gonna look at it. You know what I'm saying?
I get you,
And
yeah.
it's like a split second, I was just like, fuck, people I know are gonna look at it, and it's gonna be perceived as I'm trying too hard.
Man, fuck
You know?
it.
And then I'm just like, bro, like, at the end of the day, when I'm 60, when I'm 70, I'm gonna look back and be like, these motherfuckers I don't talk to, that I don't know anymore, I was so scared of their social commentary. And they're not gonna remember. No one's gonna remember shit. At the end of the day, people are always focused about their own lives, and you might think people are like calling you cringy, they're looking at you, they're perceiving you, and maybe they do for a split second, but like, what else? You know what I'm saying? It's like your life, and if you're not willing to take those risks of being perceived and judged, then you're never gonna get anywhere. You're actually never gonna get anywhere. And I think that's what I've been like just trying to do, is like look at my life and figure out like, why am I thinking this way and why am I acting this way? You know what I'm saying? I kind of started this year with like me starting to read a lot of books. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I'm on TikTok and I'm on social media because I'm being told to be on social media and be on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, I'm addicted to it.
I agree.
So what I did is, I don't know if I even told you this, I deleted Instagram, TikTok, all of that for so long.
Really?
I still have it deleted.
Oh, wow.
The only one I re-downloaded TikTok because I was traveling. Like, TikTok is goated for search algorithm.
It's so good
Bro.
when you need help.
But like, if you need food recs or travel recs when you're in a new city, TikTok is so goated. So that's like, whenever I travel, I re-download TikTok for a little bit. But like Instagram, I haven't had Instagram for like 4 or 5 months.
Have you thought about the Jeremiah approach?
What Jeremiah approach?
He hates social media.
Yeah.
Friend Jeremiah, model, actor, very phenomenal person.
Shout out Jeremiah, brother goats.
But basically, he has it only on his iPad. So end of the night, he goes, spends an hour or two on TikTok or Instagram. But for the rest of the day, he makes sure he's not on it because he knows it's a poison. I know it's a poison.
That's really smart. That's really I might actually have to start like doing that. That's really smart because I feel like there's beneficial aspects to like it is. Like, for example, it's just like when I re-downloaded TikTok, it was like I was starting to like learn about things. Also, do you see that TikTok does like a learning section now?
Yeah.
That's so cool, but the learning is so retarded on there, bro. But learning is like fucking like arithmetic.
Yeah?
And yeah, it's like calculus. I'm like, bro, when the fuck am I gonna need to know some calculus? Like, teach me some real shit.
They're
You know what I'm
probably
saying?
doing like a politicians got hella upset that China's TikTok was like hella educational.
No, and I think also it's like they're listening to the consumer. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people on TikTok are like, fuck, I feel like I'm wasting time. I feel like I'm brain rotting. And they're giving people the solution and being like, hey, we're going to continue to work on it. We're going to make it as good as the normal For You page. But there's a way that you can learn. And if I can get my news purely on that like learning section, the fuck? That's amazing, bro. That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like a good aspect to say, social media itself is such a double-edged sword. Because you want to use it. Because a lot of my friends use it, your friends use it, right?
Yeah.
They send me memes, they send me TikToks.
Yeah.
But once I have it uninstalled, that bondage is gone. Like
Yeah.
that, like there's a connection where like you share a meme or a mess, you guys laugh, you guys talk about it, and it's so hard. It's like our version of us going to a pub and us taking some drinks.
That's 100%
That's
true.
why I don't want to install it. It has a control on me because it's so hard in today's era. Like, me and you experience this so much. We're in a social setting and we're all on our phones. And I
hate it so much. I actually get so pissed.
But the thing is, how do you
off.
stop that? You can't just be like, I've been like, hey guys, like I'm like, what am I like a teacher? Is this preschool? Hey guys, get off your phone.
Yeah, you just don't want to be like a narc, and you don't want to be controlling. You don't want to act like a mom, but and like it's just like, bruh. It's like you can say a reminder like, yo, like let's be present, but at the same time, it's like you're not really gonna press your friends, be like, yo, dog, get the fuck out of your phone. I'm gonna like fight you or some shit.
But some people, like I said, I'm gonna be honest. I've been a narc. I want the connection. Cause like, it's rare to hang out nowadays, like 100%, in person,
bro.
And you even say it sometimes. And some people, despite having genuine intentions, they slip up and they're back on the phone the next minute.
Like literally, like they'll put it down for a minute and then they'll pick it back up. But something going back to your point about like the social connection, that's something I was scared of. You know what I'm saying? That's something I was thinking about. I was like, fuck, bro. If Ponvi texts me, if Ponvi sends me something, I'm gonna miss out on it. But the thing I realized is like, if you're really boys with someone, if someone really fucks with you and you fuck with them, it's like you just shoot them a text. You just give them a call, and like the connection is like still there on some shit. Because or you just have some crazy discipline with IG, which I feel like is so hard to have. So I think for me, my like remedy to it was just being like, I know my friends fuck with me, I fuck with them. If I want to see them, if I want to link with them, I'll do it online in real person. I won't do it online.
What's your screen time now? Obviously, I'll go first. Mine's like 9 to 11.
I don't know. I think mine has maybe like 5 or 6.
Oh, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Do you just occupy your time reading now? What do you do? I'm like,
well, without social media.
Do you still at the gym?
I've started to get back into it.
Okay,
I took a little bit of like
I mean, you had
hiatus.
to. Traveling, unless you're rich, traveling and here in the gym are such opposites. Cause like you had to buy a pass, you had to research your areas. Unless you're at a hotel with a gym, like, you gotta get nutrition in you.
It's so tough, bro. Like I was having this conundrum. About traveling. I like traveling, but it puts your life on a hiatus, which I really don't like. Like you go travel and then you come back and you're like, fuck, bro. I didn't apply to any jobs. I didn't work on my projects.
Like passive income,
Yeah.
or like just be made already. And that's why we'll always be stuck in a box and needs to do something.
I think traveling is really worth it when you're doing it at the highest level. Like you're living at a really bougie hotel in the middle of a city, and the hotel has a gym, and you're able to work remotely, and like you're able to like fly private or something. I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like these little shortcuts that make your life easier. But I think going back to your question about what I do on a daily basis is like, I've really tried to be conscious of like what I'm doing in the present moment. Like for example, it's like, I catch myself, like I'm be honest, now that I've deleted Instagram and TikTok, I found myself on Twitter a lot. But if I'm on Twitter, I'm like, fuck, let me go play chess. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you play chess?
Online.
I know you play chess a lot, but I didn't know you constantly pursue
that.
Yeah.
Just like as like a little quick 10-minute game.
Word salad, scramble, like.
No, I think chess and like just fucking Wordle and connections are only bullshit I do.
Wow.
I'll go read a book. I've been like really big on reading this year. I'll go work on. Now I'm working on this vlog, or I'll go work on Collective Conscious. I'll go and I'll just like watch a movie. I've been taking a lot more pride in watching like movies because like movies are art, and I'm digesting art. And the way I would look at it is like, I become so much of a better holistic person. Instead of spending 2 hours on Instagram and TikTok, I spend those 2 hours watching a movie that like captivates my brain, that I think about, and I'm like, yo, I watch this movie and it's pushing my creativity. I watch this movie and it's making me more present of like the potential of human creativity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I feel like I feel like there's certain things in life that are time distractions, like movies, TV shows, TikTok, whatever it is, but they're not all like the same distractions. I feel like some are worse than others, some are better than others. I think movies are fire. Like watching a movie, especially with your friends, like being like mentally like being like, fuck, bro.
Depends
that was
on the movie though.
It depends on the movie 100%. But like being like, fuck, that was a fantastic movie. Or like it really just fucking like makes you think, and then from years on you're thinking about that fucking movie. Like something I was thinking about on the drive here was the movie Her. Have you seen it?
Bro, I haven't seen it, but I know the concept. I had to write a paper about it in college, and like
it's
like
a
about
fire concept.
yeah,
It's
like
so
human
fire.
connectivity, less AI itself, and like it was a weird movie when it aired. They aired like, oh, I want you to fuck a prostitute. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's like, oh, fuck a prostitute. Like it's like you're fucking me type shit. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It was just such a wild thing to like think about, especially now with like
AI.
I was gonna say how much money these OnlyFans models be making, bro.
Shit.
They be making so much fucking money, and like the reason they're making that much money is they're making it from these simps who just want to feel like they have a connection.
Yo,
You know what I'm saying?
bro, off topic. One of my biggest issues, I think I told you about this. I'm not gonna name drop, but one of my most saddest points was my friend needed help on a laptop. I went in, I helped him. His email was there, right? I was not lurking, and I switched tabs. His email was there, and it was just a bunch of OnlyFans notifications. I'm like, one of these people that I respect. I'm like, how are you paying for OnlyFans, bro? Cause I get like, yeah, like he's such like a, you know, like the red pill top G motherfuckers. Like, oh, we got women, right? And then like at the same time, like if people who do like who I perceived as like, you know, like the most like womanizer are doing this, what does that say as society?
Yeah, 100%.
That's what I'm saying. Like, are we lonely? Cause when we were in Japan, Japan was so horny. Cause you know why they're horny? Cause there's no connectivity.
There's nothing, bro. It's like, bro, if you're not meeting people in person, you're gonna have to take out that like that internal combustion somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're gonna just start doing some freaked out shit.
I agree. In Japan, there's a thing called like what's it called? Host clubs where men and women go and they spend thousands of dollars to rent companionship. So like no diddy. So let's say Moo's like a host. I come in and I pay him thousands of dollars so he can be my boyfriend for the month. And it's crazy.
And these motherfuckers are making bands, bro. You know that dude with the blonde hair?
Yeah, I know.
That motherfucker, he was making, I watched a video, he was like, yeah, I make like 10 mil a year.
Damn.
10 mil a year, bro.
We spoke about this, but for one of my classes at UCLA, it was about human social, like the loss of social connectivity. And some of these women in Japan feel so isolated that they get in debt from these hosts that they start prostituting themselves to other men to get money
100%.
to get back in the host to put more time and money with them. I mean, more time and bonding with them, and it's all fake.
It's endless cycle, bro.
And I'm like, holy shit, this is so dystopian. No one talks about it. And I'm not saying Japan's the future, but I do feel like that's a country that's often in deep end about us connecting. We're next.
We're 100%. It's scary. It's actually so scary. It's so frightening. I think it's just like, what happens is these men, it's mostly men, they be online, they see this girl on TikTok or Instagram, and it's like, fuck, this is my ideal type of girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, she looks like my dream girl, she acts like my dream girl, and they become enthralled in this fantasy of like, this is my girl. And because they're like subscribed to their OnlyFans, and they're seeing like them do like provocative shit and them talking, a lot of OnlyFans is like these thoughts talking, you know what I'm saying? And like doing like little like mini vlogs and all that, and they like it, the fans like it because it's like, oh, I know her. Like she's mine. Like she's mine. Like, it's like dating, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And like you have all these men that are like you know, like you can pay the OnlyFans models to like text you or talk to you. Or, like, you know what I'm saying? Like sext with you. It's crazy. It's like simulating that you have a girl. And I think it's so sad and frightening because you're seeing where humanity is going. And I think it's bad on both ends. I think women are being told like, yo, you are a commodity. You're something that's not valuable for yourself, but rather for your body. So it's super demoralizing and tragic for women. And it's also tragic for men because they're like, yo, all you're worth for is just
your material possessions.
Your material possession and providing to these women. So it really like kind of instates these like very like negative social tropes. You know what I'm saying? It's it's an online persona, but it's so sad.
Adding on to that, I feel like TikTok, I don't know if it's purposely doing this, But a lot of these OF models are
Yeah.
targeting the younger demographics that should not be targeted, where it's predatory.
Especially like what's her name? Fucking Becky Hill or whatever the fuck. It's like she looks like Livy Dunn, or like she like that's her whole persona. But it was trippy because the reason why I bring up her specifically is there was a hockey game for like middle schoolers.
Okay.
And this TikToker went up to the hockey game for middle schoolers. These kids are all like 11, 12, 13.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, what's like the hottest girl or like whatever? Like, what's your dream girl or your dream wife?
Wow.
And they all said like this girl, Becky Hill.
That's insane.
And she's literally just an OF model that just like posts like thirst traps on TikTok. And that's insane. That like the younger generation are looking at these women and their idealized type of woman is an OnlyFans model.
I feel like I don't have a problem with like women like, you know, doing like sexual services.
Like,
and,
but
like,
if
selling
you're a woman,
themselves.
you want to do it. But like the fact that it's just becoming so normalized is insane. And I think it's scary because you see women as soon as they turn 18, they're like, okay, I'm gonna start an OnlyFans.
I think you had a girl, like, you don't have to name drop, but you had a girl in your high school.
Yeah.
I know some girls from my high school, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and like, they're smart women, but I'm not saying that you're just stupid to do
It's
OnlyFans.
crazy.
But I'm just like, there's so much you can do, and I feel like there's a responsibility that comes with OnlyFans. Well, you have to be ethnically inclined, but a lot of people forget their responsibility,
Yeah.
and they get blinded by the money, so you do more and more. So who it corrupts and corrodes doesn't matter.
Yeah, 100%. And like, the girl I knew from my high school is like, she was in orchestra, she took AP classes, super smart. And then you see her on fucking Twitter and her like Instagram bio, like with her tits out and all this.
Wow.
And I'm just like, that's so trippy. And at the time I was just like, whoa. But now looking back on it, I'm like, it's sad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like just really like sad on some shit. Because I feel like if you're a woman, I think everyone in society, men or women, they're looking for that escape. You know what I'm saying? They're looking for, how do I escape from my current situation and how do I transcend? Some people do it through gambling.
Wow.
Some people do it through OnlyFans. Some people do it through scamming or whatever the fuck. But everyone is looking to transcend.
Bro, I'm cooked, bro.
Why?
I can't gamble. Like,
Yeah.
I know because the homies go gamble,
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
I've been like once or twice, and I'm like, the return's not good enough for me.
Yeah,
like, I need like
it's
a
crazy.
10. I did stocks with you, and
Yeah.
I'm like, the return's not good enough for me. Like, I don't know, bro. Nothing hits for me. Like,
Yeah.
when I was very materialistic, I would try to look for what's like the next, you know, like magnum opus of money creation.
Yeah.
And the thing is, nothing gives me. I worked at
all of us.
Airbnb,
Yeah,
and I was making almost 2K every 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And that wasn't enough for me, and I hated the work. And this is why, like, I'm back to like, you know, being in LA and pondering my next step.
100%, bro. It's just like, especially gambling, bro. It's like, okay, I'm gonna be honest, I've gambled before, played poker with the boys, gone to the casino. And the thing is like, bro, you lose so much money, bro. It's like, yeah, you could win, and sometimes you do win, but like the majority of the time you're losing
How
money,
do people
bro.
enjoy it? I don't get that.
It's
What's so addicting? Like, I
it's
don't
addicting,
know.
bro. Especially because when you play a game like blackjack or some shit, and it's like, fuck, it's like you play a hand, right? And you just made $100. And you're like, fuck, bro, I just made a fucking 100. Thank God the sun's out of our eyes, by the way. Like, the sun was beaming into our eyes. Now
Yeah.
it's like, it's subsided. But it's just like, you're there with the boys, you're probably drunk, you're gambling, you make money. And when you make money, that thrill is unlike anything else. You know what I'm saying?
The roulette table was crazy.
The roulette is retarded, bro. If you do roulette or slots, you're retarded.
I don't believe roulette's 50-50. I mean, 49-51. I think
Yeah.
it's more like 35, like 70 something.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Also, all these casinos, like, they dead us like scam. Like, a lot of these casinos, they've gone investigated by like the government, and like they dead us scam people. Like, there's mechanisms and card shufflers and all that they just scam, or like weighted balls or whatever the fuck.
The only gambling I can justify is sports gambling. I feel like, I don't know if sports are rigged or not. Maybe sometimes it's sus,
Nah.
but like sometimes, like, if you're really good at it, like reading the stats of a player,
Yeah.
like having good probability and statistics,
Yeah.
you can like make some money on sports gambling. I'm not saying
That's
live
true.
off
That's true.
that.
I think the only one I also support also is like playing poker, but with your friends. Like, because if you lose money in poker, it's like probably $5.
It stays in the circle though.
It stays in the circle. Like, why are you gonna go to the casino, play poker with these random ass old men when you can do it with your boys and someone's eating? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, at least like, okay, my boy just made a little bit of a come up. Like, it stays in the circle on some real shit. Podcast cut out because someone called me, which is a mistake I'll have to fix in the future. But we were talking about poetry, how I release poetry on Twitter, and how I use it as an escape of release for me, a way to contextualize my thoughts, and that's why I really like poetry a lot. Ponvi was going on talking about how there's other outlets for human beings to use, the gym, art, whatever that may be, and it's like a way of taking your internal stress or combustion and kind of just releasing it outwards. And I know you mentioned the gym and all that, but what specifically for you do you believe is like unique to you, is like a way that you cope or you release like steam?
Some people might call it escapism, but like gaming itself is a very big relief for me. Like I can just like send away my worries, my anxieties, and let's like enter this dimension where I don't have to worry. I can just be a different avatar in a sense. It's like do a different goal, whether that's winning or that's accomplishing small amounts of like dopamine that get sent by my accomplishments in these small
also games. You do it with your homies, you know what I'm saying? It's fun like that.
It's nice having that bond where you and your friend are winning, or you guys are just creating a crazy kingdom in Minecraft, or like, I don't know if you guys know what Rust is, but it's like a survival type game. I feel it's also like fashion itself, like me like spending time working on an outfit and like coming out and like having like, wow, like that's a cool fit, like how do you come up with that, where do you get your clothes from, like it's also very rewarding. And like I guess speaking this in the grand scale of things, like my dad himself, like bro does not like therapy, bro does not talk, but what he loves doing is working and like I can see that's one aspect I want to instill in myself, is like using my energies while I'm stressed out or I'm like not feeling the absolute best or regular self, where I just hone in, whereas me applying to job applications or me like working on creative ventures like my clothing brand.
100%. I think for me a big place of escapism, I like the word escapism. I think for me it's hanging out with my friends, enjoying their company, enjoying their companionship. Anime is a huge one for me. Have you been watching any anime recently?
I'll be honest, I've fallen out of watching stuff. Like for some reason, the only thing I've been watching is Suits. I'm almost done with it. I started like 3 days ago.
Do you fuck with it?
I'm be honest.
I heard the early seasons are really, really peak, and then it kind of dwindles off near that.
Yeah, the early seasons were gas as fuck, and now it's like it's too dramatic. It's like I'm watching a soap drama. Like
it's like, when is this shit gonna end type shit.
Yeah, and for me, like I'm weird when it comes to media. Like I have to finish it when I watch it.
Also for me, it's like I still love anime. I've watched a little bit of Dandadan. That's really good, but it's so hard for me to watch nowadays, bro.
Yeah?
Because like the reason why is I've seen personally a lot of anime, and no disrespect towards the genre, but a lot of the plot patterns, a lot of the characters are kind of recycled, you know what I'm saying? So when you're watching an anime, it's like you're just kind of like, bruh, you know what I'm saying? Like you have the annoying characters, you have the similar plot points, especially when you're watching like a shonen-esque thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why like when you come across a really phenomenal anime that's thought-provoking, like Cyberpunk Edge Runners, oh my god, that shit is peak, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It breaks the mold.
Yeah.
But like so many things nowadays are just like isekais that like are just like the same shit over and over. You know what I'm saying? A motherfucker is transported to a new world. They have to accomplish some bullshit task. Like, there's bad bitches that fuck with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's literally the same shit, bro.
Loki, I hate the animes where like it's like, don't give up, hard work, you'll make it. I'm like, bro, like I fuck with, like too much One Piece, too much Naruto, like, you know, like.
Bro, that when Naruto was hitting that shit in middle school, I was like, oh my god, maybe it's true. I remember when I graduated 8th grade, I made myself like 5 lessons that I learned from Naruto that I need to instill in high school, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was just like, oh my god, bro.
You're so ambitious, like, damn, I was not doing that shit back then.
Well, some of them was like, never betray your friends.
Oh shit!
Follow your nindo. And the other one was like, if your friend ever goes the wrong path, you have to save them, or some bullshit, bro. Man.
Loki, it's harder done than said.
Yeah,
and
100%.
saving a person from a wrong path is so
it's
fucking
so hard. It's so hard.
Like, unless you have like all the money and like in the fucking universe, like this is what I hate about society, because
you can't save motherfuckers, bro.
Because you're so individualized. So like you have to like prioritize yourself first, and then like if you have extra time, you can prioritize your friend. But usually that effort doesn't save them.
Yeah, it's like, bro, you can see your boy like abusing drugs. You're like, yo, dog, don't abuse drugs. And he'd be like, yeah, bro, I got you. And then you see him on the gram,
bro, just smoking up.
Yeah, I have something. You've never been one to deal with marijuana, right?
Yeah.
You've never dealt with marijuana. It's not something you do. Why do you think marijuana has such a strong hold on America right now? Because it's gone to the point where everyone smokes and everyone is trying to smoke all the fucking time. What do you think it is?
I think it goes back to a bunch of points that me and you resonate with. One, of course, escapism. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, what is the biggest enemy that we have currently besides, you know, like, this dog-eat-dog society?
Yeah.
Is contempt, like, being content from life. Being,
Yeah.
like, a sloth. That's like, you just know life is shit, and, like, imagine this magical puff allows you to alleviate all the anxiety, all the worries, and makes you complacent.
Yeah.
And that's why people do it. Like, I can understand, like, if I can take a miracle pill and do it,
Yeah.
like, but the thing is also, like,
It's a facade, bro.
I don't like being disillusioned.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that just sounds like, okay, like, evolutionary as a human, I should be happy about doing all these substances. So
Yeah.
that's why I don't need to do these substances. And that's why America itself, maybe other parts of, like, the globe, are so, like, induced with, like, drug paraphernalia. Because, like,
Yeah.
it allows us to, like, disappear and not, like, focus on all the heinous stuff going
Yes,
on.
bro. Like, literally getting high, like, it makes you kind of just be confused and not focus on your present reality. And I think in nowadays where everyone literally just works and they go home, they watch Netflix and then they sleep, that's why motherfuckers get high, bro. It makes you escape. It makes you not focus on, like, hey, I gotta start a business. Hey, I gotta do this. Oh, let me pursue my creative ventures. There's some people, like our old roommate Ezra,
Yeah.
that dude, a creative master, bro. Like, super talented. Disc golf, music, super just, like, unique. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's a rapper, he's a
Yeah.
drummer, disc golf. He was doing, like, some own side ventures.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
That man will, like, drink coffee. He would take a hit of his puff. He go do, like, you know, a little drum session. He has some recitals. He was always on some, like, beautiful stuff. And that's why I commend him. But, like, personally, I can't see myself in that aspect.
Yeah, but, like, homie was able to just be faded as fuck, doing all of that and doing it at the toppest level, bro. And it's so interesting when you see motherfuckers like Seth Rogen or Snoop Dogg who are able to use this substance in, like, a way that's productive. Because I believe it really can be used in a productive way. You know what I'm saying? I believe all substances or all aspects of life, if you're able to do what works for you, then do it. But the problem is motherfuckers just get high and they get stupid and they're like, oh fuck, I can't really read this book right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm motherfucking hella faded.
I feel like it goes back to moderation.
Yeah.
Because there's people that microdose acid, shrooms.
Yes, bro,
People that
100%.
microdose even cocaine. And, like, it's
Yeah.
like, it's insane because, like,
It all's moderation.
your brain is basically this, like, little organism that can be altered in so many ways, and you can alter it to where, like, it's like a car, and
Yeah.
you make the speed higher, more aerodynamic, and it goes for your body in a sense. Like, you
Yeah.
can physically be at the peak, and your mind can be physically at its peak. And I'm not saying, like, oh yeah, do acid, do shrooms, you'll become the next Elon Musk. No,
Yeah,
but, like,
bro.
in moderation, you can really.
You can really do incredible shit, bro. In all aspects, bro. Food, gym, just moderating your life. And I think that's something centralized that basically sums up the podcast and the episode today, is just that, like, you as a human have so much potential to do so much cool, creative, fun shit. But it's really about moderating yourself to where you're able to do a lot of different things, but you don't get burnt out. You know what I'm saying? Doing it organically. But I think the problem is people are more focused on doing these things like a checklist rather than just doing it organically. And I think when you do things organically, going back to the example of Ezra, you're able to succeed. Because if you're just viewing life as a checklist, like, oh, I got to journal. Oh, I got to do my poetry. Oh, I gotta do this bing, bam, boom. You're just going to get burnt out and you're not really going to fuck with it, bro. But it's starting to get a little darker right now. It's getting a little chilly. We're going to go explore Culver City a bit. But I want to thank Ponvi for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is the second episode. I've really enjoyed this thus far because I know that in the future I'll be able to look back. I can send this episode to Ponvi in 5 years and be like, yo, dog, remember these conversations? And we can see how applicable or non-applicable what we were talking about was. I want to see where this is going to go. I want to keep going with it. I encourage and pursue everyone, Ponvi, everyone watching, all of our friends, just, like, keep having fun with life and keep treating this shit like a video game that needs to be explored, bro. And I think just live like Kanye, bro.
I agree.
Live like Kanye, live like Elon Musk. Just do shit, bro. Just generally do shit. Fuck if it fails, just do shit. And you're able to have that confidence and that security on your deathbed of like, hey, a motherfucker tried.
I agree.
Yeah, that's the episode. This is Kenneth Hahn Park. What do you think about the park?
It's just crazy. I've been in LA for like 22 years of my life, and like this is the first time in this park. I like the pond. I like the little geese and ducks.
And it's huge, bro. Like this is like the lower area, but then there's the upper area, and like there's like a track. People run there. There's a huge open field, a beautiful view of LA. But that's been the podcast. Catch you guys later. On to episode 3.